Today I'm going to give you a very helpful, extremely practical tip for surveillance. Hi, Larry K, ShadowAnyone.com, and the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, Premium Private Investigator Training, from someone who's been there and done that. If you're doing surveillance, a lot of times you'll have to do a stakeout type surveillance, or even a mobile surveillance will start out by staking out a place and doing surveillance on it. Now, when your vehicle has to be someplace overnight, especially if it's just, it's just going to be a one-time thing, here's a really helpful thing that you can do. On a scrap piece of cardboard or paper, like, you tear open a soda box or any kind of cardboard, it really makes it look good. You can write a note on there, something like this. Says, broke down. This van will be gone by 7 a.m. and the date, whatever it might be. And what this does is it allows you to park the vehicle overnight. You put this up on the dashboard. You're tucked away in the back usually. And anybody who comes across the vehicle, this will buy you the time. It's very reasonable. Okay, this poor guy, the van broke down. It couldn't have been here that long. I'm just now noticing it, and it's going to be gone tomorrow morning pretty much early. And of course, put whatever time you need on there. If you're going to need to stay until noon or 4 p.m., whatever it might be. But this is one of those things that will convey to people a little bit of sympathy for your situation, for why this van is here, and it gives them an end time for when it'll be gone. They're not wondering, well, is this going to be broken down in my neighborhood for a long time and whatnot. And it's okay for it to look a little scrappy, a little torn up. That's perfectly fine. I try not to write it real neat. I don't write it out on a desk or anything before I start surveillance. Although I have it, I write it, just as if I was sitting in a van broken down, but I have it ready to go. Or I have something like this that I can make on the fly if I see I'm going to need it in that circumstance. Very helpful. It's going to buy you time and cut you a break from people who see your van. Now, a little bonus tip, this is a real subtlety. It's the type of thing that I don't know in a million years would ever pay off, but if it does, it's going to pay off big time for you, is to have something that corroborates the pretext of why your van is there or who owns it, that type of thing. And what you can do is you can take a piece of mail that you've got, plaster another address label on it, maybe even fix the return address if you need to do that, so that it matches whatever the pretext might be. If you're pretexting that you're in a repair van, it might have the information for the repair company, that type of thing. And then by just preparing something like this, and it just looks like this, and have it somewhere, not maybe laying out blatantly, certainly not on the dashboard, but just someplace where if somebody was suspicious and they were looking around and pressed their face up against the glass, they could kind of see down in there this collateral identification that will allow them to say, okay, this person is who he says he is, or this makes sense with the vehicle. It's very unlikely that you would get to that point, but if you have someone who's that suspicious, that will pretty much sell it for them. I've had many, many times when I've been trying to corroborate the identity of a person, and I've known what car they're in. Looking in the car, I see a little scrap that gives me something, and it really brings home the point to me. I've never found it to be falsified. So when you use this, it's a very solid, credible thing to cover you a little bit better. This is Larry K, ShadowAnyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.